This is Thor the Dark World Loki. The figure is part of the first wave of the Thor the Dark World 3¾ inch figures. Don't know if there are other succeeding waves. Um, but this guy is part of wave 1. Now, before we begin, as always, let's have a quick look at packaging. Here he is. Loki, just plain Loki, none of that Frost Dagger Strike. Um, Cosmic Spear, Loki, whatever. No adjectives, just Loki. Has the new Avengers Initiative logo right there. I got the Photoshop image of Thor, and here's the back of the packaging. The bios is generally who Loki is, and here's some of the figures in the assortment. Alright, let's talk about the figure in general. I thought it was pretty good. It's a good enough likeness of Loki of Tom Hiddleston from the movie. Very impressed with the details on this figure, and I was really expecting a lot more points of articulation for this figure. Given the fact that I'm very pleased. I was very pleased that Hasbro did not put any of that launchers or huge big ass weapons that launched projectiles that were bigger than the weapons. I'm so happy there was no launching gimmick like that. It was just strictly accessories and the figure. And given that, I was really expecting a lot more of articulation for this figure. At any rate, the detail on him, sculpt, amazing. Paint apps, good enough. If you're choosing between several Lokis on the shelf, the first thing, probably the most important thing, you'll have to look out for paint apps, apart from the gold bleeding in with the green and whatnot, is the flesh paint on the head sculpt. Make sure that you pick one that has not the flesh paint apps that are not done too thickly on the face. I've seen one that has made him look like he had a ton of foundation on him, and the features were totally blurred out. But this one was pretty good, just thin enough, not too thick. Paint apps on this figure, and some quality issues here and there. Before we go to the articulation, he comes with several accessories. He's got a Frost Dagger, which he can barely hold. It's made of soft rubbery plastic, so it will bend. It actually was bent in packaging. He's got the original daggers that he had from the first movie action figures, which was in silver. Now it's done in gold. Alright, and on to his articulation. He's got a ball jointed neck, ball hinge shoulders and elbows, no wrist articulation, no waist articulation, ball hinge hip, thigh swivel, ball hinge knees, which really negates the need for any thigh swivel. At any rate, I'm just glad there's some articulation there, and no ankle rockers, ankle joints, ankle pivots, ankle hinges. So, again, as I said, I can forgive the lack of ankle articulation, but I mean, without that big weapon, they were still charging this as a regular 3¾ figure. They could have added some wrist articulation, and for crying out loud, why is it so difficult to add waist articulation? Anyway, so that's Loki. But, I think Hasbro did a good job with this figure, in that if you missed out the Lokis from several toy lines, Thor toy lines, you can still have a Marvel Cinematic Universe Loki for your Marvel Cinematic Avengers shelf. Again, size comparison. Here is the old movie 1 Thor Loki figures. This is the second color. The first color was done in khaki or olive green. This is the repaint. Basically the same figure. This is the King Loki figure. They had fantastic articulation, unbelievable G.I. Joe articulation. Now this guy just has the articulation he had for the Avengers Loki. And to a certain extent, I think they just used the some bits and pieces of this figure, particularly the lower legs and the lower arms. They just repainted it for this figure. They probably kept some of even the thigh. Yep, they kept the thigh. The body, I think, is the same. Yep, torso, body, legs are the same. The biceps are different. No, bicep. God darn it. all the both arms are the same. The only thing they changed is the molded in sash for his toga or for his uniform, whatever. A new trench coat, and they've given him a new head sculpt. How cheap can Hasbro be? I mean, fine, no big ass weapons, but come on, give us more Articulate. Give us the GI Joe Articulate. I would have appreciated if they had recycled some bits and pieces here, but it wouldn't be accurate. So, well, as it is, the figure still will get a very high mark for me. I like Loki in the cinematic universe. So he's not perfect. He's going to get a 9 out of 10, but still a very, very good figure to have on your shelf for your cinematic Avengers cinematic shelf. So, should you get him? If you're a big Loki fan, obviously. If you love the movie, obviously you have to pick him up. But if you're just interested in one figure from this toy line, just get one Thor. All right, there you go. Please catch me on Twitter, Geek, Instagram. Instagram for my toy sightings, Twitter for my toy hauls. Check out two of my channels on YouTube. FX France will just have the haul videos, and Chefatron, this channel, will have the toy reviews. Thor, The Dark World, Loki. Thanks for watching.